again. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to healthierlife.tv with myself, Warren Connolly, coming to you from a very autumny Hungary, and my co-presenter, Mr.
Paul Bursey, basically from London, the UK.
Very good.
So today we our subject to talk about, and we're going to keep it to 30 minutes. So is 5 ways to boost concentration. Now, if we don't make it 30 minutes, we will be cutting off, and we'll carry on next week.
So just show it'll just go to show how difficult it is to concentrate and stay focused, right?
Yeah. So here's my introduction. People struggle to concentrate. There's an information overload. It's a fast-paced world, what they call a nanosecond culture. Many people fall behind, whether that's at school, studying exams, university, work, or anything else. And it's because we become distracted. We become interrupted, okay? We drop the ball, as the Americans say, okay? And it's costly. It's costly for everyone. But think it from your own personal point of view when it comes to lack of concentration. It can cost you time. It can cost you money. It can cost you success if that's what you're aiming for. It could cost you promotions at work. So let me ask you the question. Here's one for you, Warren, as well. Do you or do anyone need to change things for themselves or yourself, depending on how it reads?
So that's the key. It depends on how each person's life reads, right? So I mean, you know, we know of people as well that are very efficient in their day-to-day living. So obviously they don't need to change much. Maybe there's a few tweaks here and there, but I think for the most part, if you look at the statistics, and these statistics are coming from the US because this is where most of the statistics come from.
We don't get many
statistics in Europe on certain subject matters. But if you look at the figures from the US, okay, and it's relevant to the rest of the world in majority of cases. They say that Americans are bombarded with an estimated 34 gigabytes. That's the 34 gigabytes of information and 100,500,000 words. No, 100,500 words. Okay. And again, they, in the workspace, they being interrupted every 11 minutes on average as well. And so habits need to change, whether it's in your private space or whether it's in the workspace. Habits need to change. How we do things need to change.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So in today's Facebook Live podcast, YouTube video, however it comes up, we're going to talk about how to stop struggling, and that's to do with focus and concentration, how to keep to the task in hand, because we flit about and do different things. Learn some distraction fighting techniques and how we can counter a lack of concentration and improve your ability to sustain concentration. So basically that's what today's about. Hopefully we'll achieve that. And as I say, if not, we'll come back next week. So what happens every day to us? As you said, we're bombarded. Is that right, Warren?
Yeah, bombarded. Yeah, that's the right word.
It's ads all the time. You go on YouTube, unless you pay money to have YouTube, you're bombarded with ads as well. I get it. And I have sort of thought about, shall I pay for it or not? I haven't decided whether to or not at the moment. But there's also people. We get distracted by people. Our concentrations can be shattered at any time by people or situations or work or anything else. So if work's interrupted, then they say an average of 11 minutes. Every 11 minutes, you're interrupted by something.
Something in your workspace.
Something. Yeah. And it's not good. And it's endless. This is all the time. So how can we achieve anything? Look, all I can say is when I was an athlete and training, I had my set training schedule, and I stuck to it because there was nobody else about. There was no mobile phones. There's no computers. There's no people walking in and out. You know, I was in the zone, and I kept focus. So how do we zero in and stay with the mission, Warren? How do we do that?
Well, look, if you think about, okay, we say that people get distracted 11 times on average in the workspace in a day. Just think about how that doesn't impact your productivity, because it's going to take you, 15, 20, 25 minutes to get back into the flow in which you were in before, right? So, one thing that you want to do is a tool that both Paul and I have discovered recently. I mean, it's a very, very simple idea, but it's not something that I know I didn't think about beforehand. But nevertheless, it's something that I was introduced to the idea, the concept, many years ago, but we heard it again recently in a training that we both attended. And you're talking about like a 45-minute productivity block. That's going to help you to focus, keep yourself focused, and keep yourself away from all the distractions that are there. And how you can do that is very simple, man. You take this amazing contraption called your mobile smartphone. Then what you do is you open it up, and then you go to this part of the phone over here, and you put it on airplane mode for 45 minutes with a timer. And you go to your timer, okay, and you just set your timer for 45 minutes, and you put your phone down, and you forget about anything and everything else. That's a simple tool, all right? But this is not something that many people are basically shown or directed towards or coached into. They think that they have to meet demands, they have to meet deadlines, they have to meet this, they have to meet budgets, they have to meet all these things. And everybody else is coming into your space on a consistent basis, but nobody's actually showing you what tools you can use, or very few occasions, I think, managers or companies will give you tools to say, here's a nice way to keep yourself productive. It's very simple. Switch your phone onto airplane mode so there's no messages, no distractions. Put your timer on for 45 minutes and do what you set to do for 45 minutes. That's it. Once you've finished that 45-minute block, you can have a 10, 15-minute break somewhere, okay? Doing something different, perhaps. You don't have to lie back and have a chill session, but you could distract yourself with something else for 10, 15 minutes and then go back to working again for another 45-minute block. It's easier said than done, but this is about discipline. It's about focus and concentration, and that's what it takes to be focused and be able to concentrate is discipline. It's nothing more than that. It's accountability and discipline, really. So if you make a decision to be disciplined in your own activities and your own habits on a daily basis, then practice that. Nice and easy.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's no surprise our ability to focus is diminishing. I mean, it's getting worse. Well, I mean, one of the things I do, and I know this is a health program, and this is really all healthy stuff if you think about it. And it's that I put my phone, I get the alarm, put the alarm on, but I also put it on airplane mode when I'm sleeping.
Yes.
So nobody can notify me, ring me, text me. Well, they can, but then they're just not going to get through to me, and that's crucial. And also when I'm working, I do the same. And I tell you, initially, when I started doing it, members of my family complained that they couldn't get hold of me. Right? So I had to tell them their fortune a little bit and just say, look, it's not going to happen. I don't care. There's 99% of what you telephone me about or contact me about is non-urgent. Okay? So don't expect, if you can't get hold of me, there's a reason for it. And that's just the way it is. And it has to be that way, And what it does, it protects your thoughts. It protects your motivation. It protects your ambition. It also does your emotional stability, so that you know that you're actually getting some stuff done that particular day. It also protects your priority, whatever that may be.
Yeah, if you have priorities, like for example, you and I, we talk about doing tasks through the day,
Yeah.
3, 6 tasks in the day, and that's it. And if you're using the right tools, if you have the right environment set up for yourself, it's much easier to get that done, right? And at least there's very least one task in the day. You get that done by making sure that you're focused and you're concentrating what you need to do. You're not going to finish a task if you, as you say, like flittering and flattering here, and you getting up and going to the kitchen to go get coffee and tea every half an hour, and then people walking into your space and chatting to you about this and that. It's never going to get done. And then you wonder why people wonder why they have to work late at night, and they wonder why they're stressed all weekend because they have to take work home with them. Or if you work from home, you're working 24/7, and it's because there is no discipline in your concentration, or you're giving yourself the space to concentrate. So look, in saying that as well, this is across the board for kids and adults. It's not just for adults. This is something that kids struggle with a lot these days. A lot of that has to do with their eating habits, and probably sleep habits as well, not getting enough sleep. But if we're talking about adults here in particular, there's basically five different ways or strategies in which you can boost your concentration. Paul, you want to touch on the first one, perhaps?
Yes. Actually, it's becoming one of my favourites. Although I have to say, in my present location, I haven't implemented it. But just one thing before I get started, I spoke about priority. One of the things about concentration for me that I found was, and again, this is what thing we come across the other day, was that I listed 1 to 6 things I'm going to do in that day. Okay. And basically, I made number 1 the priority.
Mm-hmm.
The word priorities wasn't even in the dictionary up until early to middle 20th century. Priorities didn't exist. You had a priority, and that was it. Okay. And I think that if you have a priority and you do that priority and stick with it and stay in the game and on that one thing, you can then move on to number 2 afterwards. So although you may have priorities, one thing must take priority over anything else.
Precedence.
Yeah. So so the first one is green. Consistent green time. So that's very, very important as far as I'm concerned. And what you'll be looking for is to control. The environment will come up in a minute, but you're getting a dose of nature. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even a doctor would say that if you get some nature into your life, it's great. It makes you feel good. And but what I'm looking more at, Ben, is trying to improve attention span and the ability to concentrate. And I think that's important. So, and there is actually research that backs that up. That exposure to natural surroundings, including green spaces, will prove beneficial both to you and also, you could say more importantly, to the child's or one of your children's brain development. Because we spoke about that last week when we were talking about omega-3 and other things. And obviously the early years for a kid is so important. So get them away to nature, get them out away from the mobile phone, away from the computer, and any form of break that you can do. And they've done studies where they had people looking at concrete only and people looking at green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you can imagine who flourished.
Oh yeah.
It was a concrete.
I mean, it's
the green.
In Japan, for example, there's a huge social issue just starting to. If maybe it's full blown by now, but I read it somewhere that people in Japan feel depressed a lot because of the fact that there is no greenery.
No, that's right.
In cities like Tokyo and that, and they sleep in small little boxes. That's their room. They don't have an apartment. And then they get up and then they basically go do their thing all day. They're working, whatever. And it's just in the city environment, and they become depressed because they don't see enough greenery. They're not around plants and nature as much as they should be. And this is why some companies, they paint their walls green, because it gives that feeling, subconsciously it gives you that feeling. You've seen the color green, so your brain starts to interpret green as a form of relaxation, and then it helps you to keep calm and stuff like that. So it works on a subliminally on a conscious level, subconscious level. But I'm a big proponent of being outside every day in nature, even if it's for 10-15 minutes, just being outside somewhere in nature. Doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, blowing gales, or sunny sunshine. You want to be outside in nature.
And I can tell you now, having stayed with Warren, he's out every day. So he's out.
And even in my office, before we moved in here, when I saw the space, I immediately was like, "Oh, my office! That's going to be my office," because from here I had this beautiful view in front of me of trees and nature and stuff like that. So if you just can't get out into nature or green spaces, try to create a view for yourself somewhere where you're spending time, so that you can at least see some nature.
The other thing is, if you're office bound, how things are, you can still go out as well. But if you're office bound, fill the room up with plants that give you a lot of oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not going to go into it at the moment, but there are certain plants that give you loads of oxygen, and it's a lovely environment to be in, And
your ferns, your orchids, your palms are also good, because palms, necessarily giving off a lot of oxygen, but because they're big and green, you want stuff that is dominantly green. That's big leaf stuff is going to be beneficial for your space as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get on to the next. Let's get on to something else now, because we need to keep moving.
Yeah, move on.
Call to finish in 30 minutes.
Talk about taking a break. Taking breaks. We have spoken about it before, but it's when it comes to concentration, this is crucial.
True. And that's why, like I mentioned, if you're doing a 45-minute focus block, have a break for 10-15 minutes thereafter. Whether that means that's toilet time, or having a little snack with a walk as you walk around, get some movement going, get some blood and oxygen flowing through your brain. But that little break, that could be it could be a break. It could be a 10-minute cat nap. Put your head down for 10 minutes, have a 10-minute cat nap, rest your brain, rest your eyes, and then come back refocused again. Those little breaks are going to be essential for your day and your survival through stressful times. And we all know we're leading towards more and more stressful times. So if you can use the tools that are available out there to help keep your mind at ease and help you focus and help you remain productive, then why would you not want to use those tools? So the other thing about taking breaks is this as well, is like, take a break from your phone, take a break from your tablet, take a break from social media, and take a break from emails. So I'm getting into the habit more and more now that, I have times of the day when I'm checking my emails for the first time of the day, and when I'm responding to messages that I receive, and how much time I'm spending on social media in certain times of the day, because most of my work is online. So I'm also very easily distracted by that. So I need to be disciplined and focused on when am I responding or when am I checking, and by keeping those times in blocks, it helps to keep my diary busy. But at the same time, that my diary is busy with stuff that is structured, not just everywhere, and then I'm like a butterfly all over the place. No.
Well, you mentioned the word structured, and what we're talking about there is obviously blocking your time out to do different things, a structure of time and use of the diary and things like that. So the day becomes enjoyable. I mean, I know we don't have a normal job. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit easier for us, and I get it, because what basically happens for most of us is that tuning out background distractions is a challenge. It's a big challenge. Yeah. However, I've stuck at this, and I'm now starting to move into the smaller percentage of people that can ignore distractions and stay focused on the task at hand. It's a challenge, and believe me, it takes time to do that. and obviously if you're taking breaks, it also enhances your ability to concentrate. So very, very important, and great stuff
It really
about
does.
the social media stuff, and then obviously linking the plants, taking a break, is rethinking your environment. Okay, and this is so important, and we've spoken about this before as well when we talk about maybe designing the room how you want it so that you feel happy, being there. If you're studying, you obviously got to shut everything off. Now it could be sometimes when I concentrate, I listen to music. Now I just put the word study music into YouTube and came up with stuff. Put it in the background so it's not overpowering. And I found that fantastic. I can work all day. I can work for hours like that, with that going on in the background. But it has to be very, very low down though.
It needs to be soft. Like what I used to do when I was managing in gyms, and I'd be doing my monthly reports. Like when I was working in Dubai, and I had 20 trainers working underneath me. I had to check each trainer's PT sessions for the whole month. So I had to go and review all of their PT sessions. Okay, so you got 20 trainers, and each trainer's maybe working 6, 7, 8 to 10 sessions a day. Okay, that's a lot of personal training sessions in a month. So I'd literally put earphones on, and I'd have this subliminal mantra playing in my earphones. Okay, and then I'll just put that softly on, and I would be able to go for hours on end, just signing counters. Look, it says sign. It enabled me to be able to do that for long, extended periods of time. So but that's counter to like what I'm saying now about 45-minute strategy blocks, focus blocks. You do that for 45 minutes with some music, like you say, that's in the background, that helps you it's going to help you keep you focused, because it's like meditating. If you meditate on your breath and you focus on your breathing, it's easier to meditate. Same kind of principle.
Yeah. So what we're looking for during this time is improved mood. It's there's lots of ways of doing that, and the other thing we're looking at is really, we're talking about effectiveness, efficiency, accuracy, productivity, concentration, focus, all those types of things that you need. Sounds complicated, but it's not. As I say, one of the other things is playing natural sounds. Now, I used to use a couple of videos I've actually put on Instagram for people about water running. And there was in the Japanese garden when I stayed with Warren, I took a little video, and I'll tell you what, I just took a video literally of this little stream and waterfall. It's only little, and people loved it. And you can use that. You can have it running continually in the background.
Yeah.
But you've got to find
that on my walks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've got to find what works for you. So, so we can move on to number 4. And how are you with brain training?
Yeah, brain training is cool, man. It's if you, for example, and these are simple things. Like, so let's say you're going to take a break at work. So you would think, okay, why would I want to do brain training while I'm at work? I'm using my brain already. But yeah, you're using your brain in a certain way. You're not using all parts of your brain. So if you then while you're taking a break for 10, 15 minutes, you do a crossword puzzle, or maybe you play some solitaire or something like that.
Sudoku.
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
That's going to get you focused differently. You're training your brain to focus in different ways. And it's the same, for example, like your eyesight. If you're constantly focused reading books, writing close up on your computer, you're working only certain muscles in your eyes, and you're not focusing on working those muscles that look in the distance. So every now and again, this is another great tool to help keep you focused and not tire your brain too much, is when you do have a break, focus out in the distance somewhere. So if you've got a view from wherever you are in your office or whatever, if you can, look ahead of you out in the distance. Now, then you're using different muscles in your eyes, and now the brain is working slightly different as well. It's processing information slightly different. So this is the same with brain training. Crosswords, solitaire.
Yeah.
What's it?
My favorite, Sudoku.
Sudoku, yeah.
Yeah.
Sudoku. Yeah, so do things like that. I mean, that doesn't have to take you half an hour. It's just 5, 10, 15 minutes. You're doing that.
Yeah.
Switches things up a little bit for you.
Yeah, so for speed, accuracy of performance, reasoning, memory, attention, concentration. So, there's a lot to be learned by doing other things as well.
Yep.
They do mention playing video games, but I'm not a great believer in that, because at the moment the kids will spend 12, 14 hours a day doing video games.
Yeah, and even with doing video games for adults, let's say you're at work and you're at your computer at home and you're doing work, and then you start playing video games, you're stimulating your brain in a way that you don't really want your brain stimulated, in my opinion. That is, your brain's going to get hyper, because that's what it's doing. Your eyes are just flashing everywhere. So for me, I'd rather get out a piece of paper and do some crosswords or something more sedentary for the eyes and the brain. So what's the last one?
Enhancing your well-being.
Yeah.
So we talk about exercise. Give us a simple exercise we can do just for one thing. One simple exercise.
Yeah. Okay. I'll show you right now. So I'm going to just move back on my ball. Sit back. So imagine you're in your chair, you're sitting at your desk, and then it's quite difficult to do, but it's very easy at the same time. Breathe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like that. Just take a few deep breaths in, nice slow breaths, 4-second count in. Breathe out, or what you could do is you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. You do that like 10 times, your brain is completely flushed of energy and oxygen and blood and everything like that. Your heart is going, you've woken yourself up. That's an exercise. It doesn't have to be physical in nature, but if you want to do something more physical, you can do fire breathing. When you're pulling like this and you're breathing like really hard, and you breathe out really hard and in through your nose and out through your nose. Stuff like that. It gets nitric oxide. We've spoken about this before, right, Paul? When you get the nitric oxide flushing into your brain, and that stimulates everything. It stimulates your vagus nerve. The whole body starts to wake up. There's an exercise for you. You could do little stretches at your desk, twisting the body a little bit, opening up the chest, breathing a little bit deeper, and you're done.
Absolutely. So obviously now, very quickly, concentration enhancing foods. And I take 2 of these. I'm gonna add the third one in. Walnuts. Eating some walnuts during the day. Avocados.
Yeah.
And good quality chocolate has to be above 70. I would say above 85% if you can get it.
Yeah. I'd say if it's 75 78 at the minimum.
Yeah.
Like 78% at the minimum.
All of these are about speed, memory, attention, concentration. They're the things that we're after, so that we can then work on the concentrated focus. So the walnuts, it's all to do with cognitive function. The avocados improve cognitive function, and also lutein levels in the eye as well, and brain. So very, very important. And obviously the chocolate, as you know, it's got flavonols and everything else in there that are superb. But it must be not candy. Okay, it has to be the real thing. So, and as you mentioned, when we talk about exercise, the more you exercise, you don't have to go berserk, but the more you exercise, the more you can concentrate. Yep. And you can better perform at what you're doing. And allied with that is checking your weight. Okay, because what they've done, they've unearthed a connection between weight loss and improved memory and concentration.
We have 1 minute.
Sorry?
We have less than 1 minute to go.
Yeah, I know. So if you're obese, you're going to have high blood pressure and possibly type 2 diabetes. We don't know, but and it impairs the brain. So think about what you can do to do something about it. So
change your well-being. Change your well-being.
A cup of coffee is quite good as well. So, but
not too often, eh?
Sorry?
3 cups, maybe 3 cups at the day at the most.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, right.
Well, that's about it, I think.
Yeah. I'm just going to say one more thing, and obviously, we're in the health and wellness business, and we do have something to help you on your way. apart from our health protocol, which is to cover everything else, we do have a product, and I'm going to read it because I want to make sure I get it right. Okay, and we promote an all-natural dietary supplement to relieve stress, improve mood, and increase feelings of well-being, apart from helping with restful sleep. Now, this supports a healthy functioning nervous system and the brain, which contributes to a reduction of tiredness and fatigue. So if you want to know more, get in touch with us. Drop us a line on here or contact Warren and myself directly, and then we'll talk to you about it, see if it's something you might be interested in. And as I say, we should tell people what we do, and it's up to them whether they want to become interested or not. So with that, we're bang on half an hour. Oh no, just gone over 1 minute. So please show the love. Share this if you think it's worthwhile. Comment, and then we'll have a dialogue with you. Warren, do you want to finish us up?
Just have an outstanding remainder to your week. Take on board these tools that we shared with you for today, and then next week, by next week's call, you could have given us some feedback, and then we can potentially use that feedback to make the next call even better and more impactful.
Great. Well, we're out of here, and have a fantastic week, and we will speak again next week. And as I say, stay healthy. Cheers.
Keep focused.